Hey guys, this is Lorenz of the Ketones and Coffee Podcast. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any of this great content. Hey guys, welcome to the Ketones and Coffee Podcast, and thank you so much for tuning in. I know everyone here that's listening are here because you want to create a sustainable, healthy lifestyle through the ketogenic diet. And every week we're bringing in guests who have the knowledge and experience to help you on your own journey to a better health. I'm so excited for this. Our guest today is a multifaceted health and wellness expert who has made a significant impact in the field of fitness, nutrition, and personal development. As a seasoned speaker and writer, Nate knows that being in peak condition provides a huge advantage in business, relationship, and life in general. He is the founder of Passport Fitness, where he helps busy professionals improve their health, wealth, and relationships through his innovative fitness and nutrition program. Nate's expertise has been featured in leading media outlets such as Huffington Post, Testosterone Nation, Ask Men, Breaking Muscle, Stack Media, and Thrive. He is also the best-selling author of The $1 Million Body Method, The Entrepreneur's Diet for Superhuman Focus and Rapid Fat Loss, and the host of the ultra-popular podcast, The Low Carb Hustle. I'm so excited for this. I'm here with Nate Palmer. Nate, welcome to the show, man.
Lorenz, what's up, man? This is going to be so fun. I've been looking forward to this.
Nate, it's so great to have you here, man. I want to tell you a story about how I found out about you.
I love stories. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I was at the conference last month for as a health coach, and I was the only coach practicing low carb and keto there. And so I met somebody there, and she was like, "You gotta have this guy on your podcast." And she showed me one of your videos, the low carb game show, and I immediately messaged you after that, and you're like, "Let's do it." Here we are, man. How are you, bro? What's going through your life today, and what was going on, and what's keeping you busy nowadays?
Man, I've been doing a lot of podcasts recently, which has been a ton of fun. I love podcasts. It's like my favorite. But it's so funny that someone was like, "Hey, you got to connect with this other low carb coach." By the way, here's a stupid video where you probably asked someone about Pokemon.
Man, I can't stop laughing when I saw that.
I put them out on Thursdays, so the one went out today too.
I was like, man,
She won $1.
This guy is on another level. This guy just wants to get out there and spread the word. And if you're somebody who wants to spread the word, you got to get out there. You know, man, props to you. And you're hilarious, by the way. Those videos are hilarious. You guys gotta check that out. Low Carb Hustle on Instagram.
Thank you. It was actually nerve wracking. I was walking around this place nearby. It's called Tempe Marketplace, like an open air mall. And I kept getting like the security kept being like, "You can't be here." So I kept getting like kicked out, and I've like walked to other places. So I'm kind of like just like walking around the outskirts being like, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you like to win $1?" And she's like, "Wait, no, don't talk to me." So I ended up like interviewing just like a bunch of just Gen Z. They're like the only people who would give me the time of day.
Man, I would, if I had, the guts to do it, I would, because it would be so fun. It would be so fun. And maybe we'll get the guts after this, man. After listening to you, man, you have such a high energy. You're a high energy guy, and you got a lot going on, man. You got to coach your business, the podcast, and you're a dad, a family you got to run as well. You got an insane energy, man, and this mental focus that you share with your clients. Let's deep dive into that. I'd like for them to get a chance to know you a little bit. You have been, uncovering this for over 20 years of your life, and you've helped thousands of people not just get the abs, gain the energy and focus for the business and life in general, so they can be more with their families, right? You've experienced pivotal moments in your life that have shaped your approach. Can you share with us your personal journey in the health and business fitness world, and what got you into that?
Totally. Yeah. So first of all, I have not been working with people for over 20 years. I'm still extremely youthful. Like despite how I look, like I am a young person. I just want that to be very clear. So I've been in the business for like 13, 14 years now, and I've helped about 1,100 people. Just so it's like, thousands of people. And it's like maybe like 1,000 plus. So I started getting into this, and like, I don't know what your story is, man, but I know that a lot of guys like us kind of come at fitness from this perspective of low confidence, not liking who we are, a big fear response. So my story is very similar to that. Like my parents were splitting up. I was 11 years old. You know, that's hard. I got to be the man of the house and stuff like that. Like a little bit later, someone breaks into my house while I'm home alone, all by myself, getting ready for school. This guy breaks into the house and I don't know what to do. I'm scared not only of, getting murdered in the face, but I'm also scared of calling the cops because I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for that. Like I just had a lot of stuff like on my shoulders. And so I grab a steak knife out of a knife block and I go hide under my bed and I lock my door. And I remember, man, just hearing this dude walking down the hallway. It's like boom, boom, boom on my hardwood floors. And he pounds on my bedroom door. And I'm there by myself. And I'm like, guess I'll die. Guess this is my time. And, I wouldn't have been able to say it as a 12-year-old, right? But like the thing that scared me the most about that was just how powerless I felt in that situation. Just total lack of autonomy, no ability to do anything. There was no recourse for me as a 12-year-old. And so in that moment, I think that was the spark for me where I was like, if I get big enough and have enough neck tattoos, no one will ever hurt me again.
Yeah.
And I think the gym is filled with a lot of guys in that same place where like, if I have enough muscle armor, nobody can ever hurt me again. And I don't know if that's, if that resonates with any of your listeners right now, but I feel like that was the start. So like, we'll just keep telling sad stories. You want me to cry? I can cry if you want me to.
That's a pivotal moment in your life that could, a defining moment that made you realize, hey, I gotta get some, some muscle in me.
Yeah. Right? So like then fast forward a couple of years, I'm in high school, very confident, very, just a very self-assured young man. That's not true at all. And this girl comes up to me and she's like, yo, hey, show me your arms. I'm like, talking about these bad boys right here. So I show my arms, flex for her, and she goes, see, Michelle, I told you his arms are smaller than yours. And I was like, no. High school's over for me. I have to move to a farm in like Ecuador right now.
Yeah.
And so at that point I was like, well, I just need to go work out. Like I need to figure this out because obviously I am not good enough as I currently am. I need to change who I am and how I show up. So I started training. So I was doing chest and biceps on day 1. I was doing triceps and biceps on day 2. I was doing arms and abs on day 3. Then I was doing chest and triceps on day 4. Like just the dumbest, most like inane training program of all time. And the whole goal was just like, how do I figure out how to change my body? And but like by proxy, Lorenz, like how do I change who I feel like I am? How do I change my identity? Because I'm not happy with who I am. And so eventually I get out of college, I get a job. I'm like, I'll just get into the gym. And if I'll just work at a gym, I'll figure this out eventually. And so working at a gym, I was actually the smartest personal trainer of all time. Year 1, I was a genius. I've been getting dumber ever since. Now I'm like, I don't know the answer to that question. I would have told you the answer to every question first year. I just thought I knew it all. And so a couple of years go by as I'm training, and this magazine reaches out to me. It's like, hey, can you write an article for us about how to eat for all day energy? And I was like, that's a thing? I thought it was just build muscle or lose fat. I thought those were our 2 topics. And I was like, okay, cool. Different, like kind of just a change of reference for me. So I started doing some research on this, dive into some studies, reach out to a few people I respect in that nutrition space. And what comes back to me is very interesting because I'm on the bodybuilder 6 meal a day, rice and chicken and no calories. So you're eating sriracha and hot sauce until you throw up. Like that was my mentality around nutrition. And this framework completely blew my mind. So I was like, all right, let me try this out. Because I'm working as a personal trainer. I'm there at 6 a.m. I work till 8 p.m. I've got like a 3-hour block in the middle where I work out or do whatever, the trainer done up. So I'm there all the time, tired all the time, eating rice and chicken all the time. It's, it's nasty. So I start eating in this way. It's called carb backloading. And I was like, oh, like this is really interesting because all of a sudden my energy goes way up. I've got a lot more energy for my classes that take place at night. My clients noticing it, and I'm feeling really good. And I'm getting as like leaner than I've ever been before without a whole lot of effort. I'm like, that's interesting. Super, super interesting. So I tried it out with a couple of my best clients. Hey, I gave four people. I'm like, hey, try this out. I just want to see what you think. Like, is this a fluke? And they start getting really good results too. And they start getting leaner faster than they've ever gotten. And so I was like, there's something to this. So a couple of years later, I got a client here in Arizona. He's a roofer. He's starting a business. So he's driving around 10, 12 hours a day in his truck. He's eating fast food 5 times a week. He's drinking 5 Monster energy drinks a day, like full sugar, like crazy. And he's like, dude, I need to lose weight and I need to get more energy. He's like, I'm not going to work out though. I don't have time. I need to go home and I lay on the couch for 30 minutes, watch Sports Center before I can hang out with my kids. Got 4 kids. And I was like, oh, you know what? I got the juice for that. So I put him on this carb backloading program. I call it low carb backloading at this point. It's a little bit different. And fast forward a couple months, I'm like, hey, how has it been going? He's like, it's been good. My wife's noticed a difference. My kids are happier when I get home now. He's like, I'm still driving a lot. I'm still eating fast food, but like my energy is way better. And I'm only drinking like 2 or 3 monsters a day. I'm like, cool. Like, well, you want to work on your fat loss? You want to work on like exercise now? And he's like, well, that's the thing is I've already lost 22 pounds in the last 2 months. And at that point I was like, all right, there's gotta be something more here. So that's when I really dove into this methodology of low carb backloading, because I really believe, like, I love keto. I think it's a great therapeutic approach, or it's a great like time constrained approach. But for the most part, the clients that I work with are not going to track their calories all the time. They are not going to eat organic all the time. They are not going to be able to do keto all the time. They need something that is going to be sustainable, maintainable, doesn't make them feel like a piece of shit if they fall off. And so I really felt like this style of eating gives them both things. It gives them the ability to have a framework. So if they go out to eat, they go to Thanksgiving dinner with grandma's house, they have a client dinner or whatever else, they have the ability to choose the right foods at that time. But they also are able to eat in a way that ensures fat burning and ensures great energy throughout the day. And that's like the most important things for people. So that's my story. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Wow. Lost 22 pounds without he said exercise, without really focusing on his diet.
Yeah. I mean, like, he was really focused on the first 2 meals, but the second meal I gave him, he's like, I'm gonna eat fast food 5 times a week. So I was like, all right, here are the 5 places you're allowed to go, and here are the 2 meals at each place that you can have. You know, so picking things that fit. So a lot of salad and go. Lots of salads.
Yeah, because I love it, because like you said, you know, not everybody can go keto, not everybody can go carnivore, not everybody can, you know, follow that routine consistently. And because that's the name of the game, right? If you can't be consistent, it can't be sustainable, like why start anyway? It's like, it's not gonna help you if you go on a chicken diet, broccoli diet for 7 days. It's not gonna help you if it's not sustainable.
Yeah. I mean, like, you don't eat one salad and suddenly have abs.
Yeah.
So I have people all the time. They're like, I need to lose this amount of weight I'm going to Cabo. And I'm like, well, are you going to gain it all back? Because if you drop 40 pounds and gain 40 pounds, well, you're just having screwing with your body's natural metabolism and your basal metabolic rate. So why don't you just hold that weight, not mess with your body? You're gonna be much healthier if you don't drop and regain anyways.
Yeah.
Let's find something sustainable when you're ready. I tell people all the time, you're not ready to work with me. You're like, you need it. You got stuff until May. It's not the time.
Was that the start of your journey, just helping people on that side of things?
Yeah. So, cause I'm a trainer, right? So I love training. And so what my approach was, like, you know, 2008 all the way up to 2015, I started doing online coaching way before it was cool in 2015, but I was shipping off Excel documents, bro. Like, this is crazy. I was like, not even Google Sheets, like Excel documents with workouts in them, sets and reps, tempos and stuff like that. And then I was like, you know what? People aren't getting the results. They're not doing it. So I went and I filmed like 600 exercise videos. I was like, that's what's going to get them there. Yeah. Film all these videos, throw them on YouTube, take the links, put it in an Excel document. The most boring work of my entire life. It's just so boring. I was doing all this stuff. I was like, I'm going to tell my clients, and still no one's doing the workouts. And what I came to figure out is like, hey, people aren't going to do the workouts if there's no nutritional component to it. Because they like, best case scenario, they do the workouts, they probably have a lot of inflammation and they hurt their elbow because they just are inflamed and are not working out well. But B, like, they keep working out, they keep eating shit food, and they're not seeing any results. Why would they keep going? Working out's hard. Most people don't love doing it. So in 2018, I really changed my entire format and framework to be like, let's go nutrition first, and then let's ratchet up the energy towards training month 2, month 3, month 4, like, and not necessarily putting a ton of effort on it. I have people walking like 6 weeks before they even jump into the gym, and they're getting better results than I've ever gotten in 2016.
No, I love this, because there's a lot of people who really don't have the time to really, you know, count calories, or, you know, count macros, or be on a strict diet. They don't have the time, and sometimes they don't have the capacity to even start that. And, you know, having your program, having to, you know, you help this it's a different side of the different side of people who actually are busy with their business, busy with their family life, and it's obviously you're not calling it a diet, you're calling it a framework, which is for you've seen this to be more sustainable for these folks.
Yeah, because like if you like Mediterranean, you can slide Mediterranean in here. If you like keto, you can slide keto in here. If you like paleo, you can slide paleo in here. So it's like it's more like a fill in the blank rather than a here's exactly what to eat. Don't eat. It's clean versus dirty. Because I think that when people start getting really black and white or myopic in their thinking, that leads to like this white knuckling and scarcity where it's like, well, I can never have a piece of cake ever again, ever. And once you start putting yourself in a place where you're like, you can't have it, that's all you start thinking about. And so people can white knuckle for a time. Anybody can hold on for something for 6 weeks. But like, you know what the recidivism rate of weight gain in the industry is? Do you know this number?
No.
95%. That's horrible. That's horrible. We need to do a way better job than that, because 95% of people who lose weight will regain it back. And oftentimes they regain a little bit more just for good measure. So we need to do better as coaches and people in the health space, because we have to understand, and this is what I didn't get as a personal trainer. Like when I was first starting out, I thought I was the smartest dude in the entire world. I was really well read. I read all the people. I knew all this, like the fancy science words, but I could never meet people where they're at. People would be like, what's the best soda to drink? And I'm like, soda? How dare you have a soda? You never see inflammation, sugar, refined sugar, like now I'm like, have a diet soda.
This is why you're so different, man. Because, when you said it's 95% of people, can't stick to their diet. Because for some people, that's money, right? People keep coming back to you to train, but what makes you different is you have the empathy for people. You understand what they're going through, and you don't want them coming back to you.
Yeah, I want to, I always tell people if I get on a call with them and I'm like, man, let's make this the last time we have this conversation.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about losing 40 pounds ever again. This is like annoying. This is work. This is mental. Like this is kind of just an icky talk. And I appreciate you being open with me, but let's talk about it once. Let's get this done and let's move on. You're like, people aren't passionate. Most people that I talk to are not passionate about knowing more about ketones. They are not passionate about understanding the angle on a Bulgarian split squat. You know what I mean? I talk about that shit all day long. I love to nerd out. But if I feel like if I want to help people at a high level, and if I want a message that is going to resonate with the public, I need to be able to tell an 8-year-old, hey, you got to have proteins and fats in the morning. Go tell your dad. And he's going to be able to go tell his dad, he's like, proteins and fats in the morning. And if they can say that, if I can have that message distilled down into the simplest form where a 4th grader can understand it and translate it to someone else, that's when we're going to start winning as an industry. I don't think these really extremes are necessarily serving 95% of humans.
Man, that's great. Now, if we can just eliminate half of the problem, we have the epidemic of obesity, the metabolic diseases, and if this can eliminate half of that, man, that's great. You often emphasize the importance of energy in your program, the $1 Million Body Program. Can you elaborate on why energy is such a critical aspect in our lives and how a lack of it can impact various aspects of our daily, such as, your work, relationship, and overall well-being?
Yeah. I think I don't even need to emphasize this, because I think people, they wake up and they feel like shit, and you're going to have a bad day. You're tired. You didn't sleep. Your kid was keeping you up all night. You feel it instantly when you're low energy. Nothing is clicking. Although when you're high energy, you can almost flip into that flow state where you're like, things are happening for me. I'm saying all the right stuff. I got on a podcast. I did a great job. I got on a sales call. I said all the right things. I'm having a great interaction with my boss or my coworkers, whatever else. And you can feel how that energy just kind of translates into momentum in your life, and you feel really good. Right. Yeah. So if I can get people to start thinking about things, because I think there's too much where you go it's like food is fuel, bro. It's like, all right, Tom, chill out. Food is also relationships and love and culture and all these things. But if we can start asking ourselves, rather than what do I want to eat right now, how do I want to feel after I eat? So for example, today, I knew we were going to have this podcast. I want to be high energy for this podcast. I want to show up big time and have an amazing time with you. I want to be able to just like just show up and have fun and try to spread the message that I think is important. So what did I have today? I woke up, I had a big glass of water. Like I always do that first. About an hour later, I had my coffee. And then all I've had today so far is a protein shake with 50 grams of protein and then 2 tablespoons of almond butter in it. So high protein, high fat, because I know that if I eat light and I have proteins and fats for the morning, I will feel very good. I will not feel heavy. I will not feel weighed down the same way as if I had 2 bagels, banana, and like a big meal of like, steak or whatever. So I'm trying to eat in a way that reflects what I want my energy to be like next. Now, here's the cool thing about this. And this is like, I think this is where, like, you can go either way if you're keto or not. No stress either way. But like a lot of people want to eat a piece of pizza. They want to eat brownies. They want to have a bowl of Captain Crunch. So I say, hey, it's not like you can't have those things. You can have those things if you really, really want them. Don't deprive yourself. Don't feel like that. But all you have to do is push that off, right? Because if I had a bowl of Captain Crunch before I got on this podcast, bro, you think I'd be talking this fast? Hell no.
Yeah.
Like, because with the way our body digests carbohydrates, or digest anything really, we're pulling blood from our appendages, we're pulling blood from our brain all into our gut for digestion. You cannot be focused if you eat a big meal. Your body shifts automatically into what's called a parasympathetic nervous system dominant state, which is our rest and digest state. Cool, right? No problem. But let's do that at the right times. When do we need to be rest and digest? Nighttime. We're shifting down anyways. Let's utilize our carbohydrates to sleep better. Like, it feels obvious when you say it like this, right? So I want to be up all day. I want to be feeling really good, high energy. And then at nighttime, if I want Captain Crunch, I'm gonna have Captain Crunch. It doesn't matter. But I want to do it at the right times. So my energy's on point. My focus is where it needs to be. And I'm always showing up big time for the people that believe in me and that need to hear from
me. You're giving so much here, man. Which is more important thing is you must have, in order for everything else to work, energy is life, man. Energy is life. If you lack energy, you're tired all the time. Everything else suffers. I don't think it's as debatable.
Vince Lombardi says fatigue makes cowards of all men.
I like that one.
And then also, like, you ever wake up tired and you're hungry all day. All day you want a snack, right? It's endemic, and it's that negative snowball, just like consistently, like it drags you down. I think most people are operating about 60% of their maximum ability right now. So I get people to get back up to like 90%, and they're like, I feel amazing. I feel like a superhuman. I'm like, no, you feel normal. You've just felt like dog shit for the last 4 years and you didn't even realize it. People walk around like they have the flu all the time. They're just like, I guess I'm getting old. My metabolism is slowing down. I'm like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not how you should be.
Doesn't mean common doesn't mean normal. Like people always mix that up.
Yeah, common does not mean normal. Yeah,
it's common nowadays.
Average sucks. Average sucks right now. The average person is like 30 pounds overweight. The average person only has $500 in their bank account. The average person is in a bad relationship. Average is not what we want, right? We want above average, because in 2030 we're predicted to be 60% overweight or obesity. That's going to be average. You've seen the movie WALL-E, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as you know, people are just zipping around on cars, drinking sodas, watching ads all day. That's going to be average if we keep on this trajectory. Men with zero testosterone, no sperm count, just sitting around watching porn, looking at Instagram, that's average. And I reject that. I think that, like, I'm calling up other people to reject that as well. And that starts with what we put in our mouth.
With the government coming out with Lucky Charms as healthier than steak, man, I mean, we're on the way to go. What's gonna stop them? I mean, we can keep talking about it, but if the standard care doesn't change and the pyramid doesn't change, we'll have to keep working at that.
But I think everyone needs to take responsibility for themselves too, right? If we're waiting for a handout, if we're waiting for the government to tell us what's healthy and what's not healthy, we're gonna be waiting a long, long time. Nobody's coming to save us. And as sooner we can understand that and take our health into our own hands. I had a long debate with a guy yesterday. He was talking about how meal prep services, Blue Apron, like Home Chef, all these things are good options. People don't have time to cook. They need to be like spoon fed these things. And I said, fuck that, man. If you want to have a healthy lifestyle, if you want to take your family's health into your own hands, you got to learn how to cook. You got to go and you got to put some stuff on a stove and learn how to heat it up like a human. Like, that is one of the highest ROI skills that you can have. And people are outsourcing that to a company. You don't know what's in that. Like you go to like people are doing takeout or DoorDash because they don't want to deal with like cooking themselves or inconveniencing themselves in any kind of way. We are as a society sliding so far towards this God that we're worshiping of comfort. It's not about black or white. It's not about Republican, Democrat. It's all about everybody getting more and more and more comfortable, sliding into those like little small dopamine hits on my phone. I just got to see the next Instagram hit. I got to have that red bubble. I got to go to DoorDash. I got to hit Netflix, you know, and if the more comfortable we get as a society, the easier it is for someone to tell us, hey, Lucky Charms, you don't need to eat steak. Like, cause we're like, okay, yeah, just spoon feed me that information, daddy. Like, let's go. And all of a sudden it's like, we have completely given away our own autonomy. We need to take that back.
Man, that's powerful. Now, you know, you got to, you know, if you want to really get into this lifestyle, yeah, absolutely. You got to do it yourself. Nobody can, you know, get you up, make you get up and run a mile. Nobody can.
And outsource your push-ups.
Exactly. All right. Your program effectively addresses the root cause of, you know, energy issues. Can you tell us more about this protocol, and if you can also go through the transformative impact it has on people?
Yeah. So it is honestly so simple, and I'm just going to give it to you right now. So I wrote this book. It's called The $1 Million Body Method. I talk about what I call 7 daily investments. In that book, the 7 daily investments. I love to talk about investments because like you invest in your health, right? It's going to pay off dividends in the long run. Most of my clients are entrepreneurs, business owners, so it resonates. So 3 of those daily investments are breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'll give you those right now. And if you want the book, by the way, you go to getnatesbook.com. You can just get it for free. It's also on Amazon Audible if you want to pay me $3 for it. So the first one, breakfast, is going to be high protein, high fat, like I described earlier with a protein shake. You can do eggs and avocado, or Charles Poliquin, who's like so far ahead of his time. He always loved a meat and nut breakfast. So chicken thighs and almonds, that's like one of my favorite breakfasts. Everyone thinks it's weird, but throw some Cholula on that bad boy, you're cooking with Crisco. So proteins and fats for breakfast. Second is lunch. Is going to be, we're going to eat light. We're going to have high protein, high vegetables. So sometimes I'll just do like 8 ounces of steak, whatever else, and have a half a bag of baby carrots, something that's going to be filling, but it's not going to weigh us down and make us like, because like I was saying earlier, when you're digesting food, you're pulling all that into your gut. Now, if you could not eat, that's a fine option. If you want to get more done, eat less. It's a good rule of thumb, but most of us are not going to do that. So eat a meal that's high in protein, high in vegetables, because if you're having carbohydrates, most people don't know this, but it takes 4 times as much oxygen to digest a carbohydrate as it does to digest a protein or a fat. So it's taking more energy from your body to digest those carbohydrates. That's why we get Chipotle burrito syndrome. You know, you eat the Chipotle burrito, you lay under your desk and you're like, man, this is horrible. I'm so tired. You know, because I think that a lot of us in the afternoons post lunch, and I don't know about you, Lorenz, but like I've experienced this when I do it wrong, is I will feel like I have 90 minutes of work to do after lunch, and I'll cram that into like 3.5 hours. And I'll just be so inefficient with my time, bouncing back and forth between Facebook, social media. Got 17 tasks. I'm not doing any of them well. But this way, what you're going to do is you're going to find that you're going to take 90 minutes worth of work and you cram that into 75 minutes. Now you're out the door even faster. You can be back home with your family, doing the things that you actually want to do, doing the things that are your area of genius. Mm-hmm. Like I said, most people don't want to be good at keto. They want to be good at be a great dad. Make more money.
Yes,
those are the important things. And then for dinner, that's when we move all of our carbohydrates. So low carb backloading to me is like eating less than 100 grams of carbs per day and putting all those carbohydrates in the PM. Mm-hmm. And the transformative effect that we see of this is that people start feeling better. And the thing that I hear a lot that I just love, and it just makes me so happy, is when people go, this isn't a diet. This is just how I eat now. And when I hear that, I'm like, yes, that's a win. Because then now they have this tool in their tool belt they can always go back to that's going to give them more energy, help their body burn more fat so they're leaner and healthier. And then also you can go home and if your kids want to eat mac and cheese or baked potato or whatever, like it's not a big deal. You're not be like, oh, I'm cheating on my diet. I shouldn't have been on my ketone. It's just taking people off the hook of this mental barrier that we built up in the fitness industry for so long.
How does the program help clients identify their current state, right? When they're beginning and the goals and what they want to achieve?
So it's highly individual, right? But I would say for the most part, everybody wants to get leaner and everybody wants to live longer. Mm-hmm. So I think just by showing so in the book, I talk about a 28-day program. And then my first 28 days, if someone's doing a coaching program with me, it's a little bit more rigorous. So I'm spelling out for them, eat this for breakfast, have this, these are your 3 options for lunch. And then here's what you're having for Monday dinner, Tuesday dinner, Wednesday dinner, whatever else. And so I give them training wheels as it was. And so the first 4 weeks, it's not a fill in the blank, it's connect the dots. So figure out how to connect the dots and just do what I say. Because I had a lot of people who are like, carbs for dinner? Isn't that the worst time to have carbs? Why are we having the biggest meal before bed? Isn't that going to cause blah, blah, blah? I'm like, take a breath, try it out, see how you feel. Okay. Because if I can give people like, hey, here's the basics, here's the training wheels, take this and run with it. Soon they'd start to see, wow, I'm sleeping way better. I'm going to sleep way harder. I am waking up with more energy. My weight is dropping. I'm not hungry anymore. I'm not getting those sugar cravings at 10:30. But you have to see, like conceptually, it's not going to make a big difference. If you know all these things, it doesn't matter unless you do any of them. So having the ability to actually put this into practice, see what the results are personally. Bruce Lee said, accept what is useful, discard what is not, and then add what is uniquely your own. But so it starts with accepting what's useful. Take this, and then maybe you hate sweet potatoes. Great, those are out. Maybe you hate eating chicken. All right, great. So that's out. Whatever it is, you just take out what's not serving you and then make those small little tweaks. This is a game of inches. And I think I tell people all the time, you can't lose at this if you don't quit. Even if you're not having a good time, even if you're hitting a plateau, even if you feel stuck or stagnant, you can't lose if you don't quit.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that saying by Will Smith? It's either I die on this treadmill or you stop running, somewhere along the lines.
It wasn't getting jiggy with it. That's not it.
No.
Oh, that's another good quote by Will Smith.
No, it's not.
No, I'm pretty sure that's a great quote by him. That's a classic.
How does the program track progress now and measure the success?
Yeah.
How do you measure success?
I have 3 metrics. Number 1, progress pictures. People want to know what they look like in the mirror, right? Like at the end of the day, your relationship with gravity is not that important, right? If it says 200 on the scale, if it says 190, if you don't look the way you want to look, that's a big issue. Obviously, we track weight. That's just such an easy metric. Most people have scales in their houses. And then also I do a waistline measurement. So I measure waistline at your belly button, and I call it, and I do a waist to height ratio. So what I'm looking for is I'm always looking for people to get down to a waist to height ratio of 0.46. Now, some studies that I've been reading have shown that this 0.46 number is correlated with a better insulin sensitivity and a decreased incidence of insulin resistance. So essentially, when you get down to this level of leanness, you have less visceral fat, so you're going to live longer. You're going to have less congestive heart failure or different issues there. You're going to look better because now you're getting that the bit more of that, like the magic, the golden ratio that you're looking for from a physique standpoint. And then also it's going to tell us how your body is interacting with carbohydrates. So if you get to 0.46, great. You can have more carbohydrates because your body's going to be able to handle them better. You're going to be a little bit more metabolically flexible. If your waist height ratio is like 8 or 1 or something like that, you're just not going to be able to use carbs very well. And that's when I think of like a therapeutic ketogenic approach is perfect. Getting people like just completely off of the carbohydrates because they're just not dealing with them well.
Can you share a little bit of off like what comes to mind when inspiring success stories of a client you have seen significant improvements in their health and well-being through your program?
So I think that it's easy to be like, hey, here's this picture of John and look at, he doesn't have abs, now he's got abs, what a great guy, so those stories we see a lot of those. People post out a lot of that shit on social media and stuff, but I really think the biggest shift comes from the identity piece. So if I have someone who is like my client, Jason, who was going home and not having energy for his family, and then his wife comes to me and goes, whatever you did to Jason, that was amazing. Keep that up. He is completely different, and his kids notice it. Like I got a client named Pete. His wife has texted me multiple times. She's like, Pete is a new man. He's on fire right now. He hasn't missed a workout in 2 years. Like whatever you've told him, keep it going, please. And I think those are the stories, regardless of what the scale says or what the progress picture says, that are the important ones. Like who are the people who have made a complete identity shift, have shifted the way they view nutrition, that have shifted the way they view energy, have shifted the way they view exercise, to be like, this is what serves the people in my life. This is what allows me to live at a higher level. Let's keep doing that.
That is powerful, man. Like the $1 Million Body Program, guys. If you want to Check that out. It will be linked down in the description box below. Nate, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story here. I really appreciate you, and really inspiring story, and really you're helping a lot of people here. With your experience, I could hear the empathy that you have for your clients. They're not just clients for you. I mean, you really want them to do well after your program, and it seems like you really care about how they can uh for longevity, and how they can keep improving after the stint with you. So
I mean, yeah, because like fitness and nutrition is not just fitness and nutrition, right? It's a building block for something greater, right?
yeah
Like I said, people don't give a shit about most of this stuff, but if they have more energy and they can, and their kids are watching them exercise, their kids are watching mom and dad have a better relationship. They've got more energy to actually solve a dispute, so they're not getting divorces. Like, this is how we change our society. It's not through these global sweeping, again, looking at politicians and having the daddy government save us. It's by making small changes in our own lives so that our kids see it, and then we raise up new leaders in the community. We change our families, we change our communities, and that's how we're making a difference. That's how we're making an impact here. And it's not through these great sweeping things, and it's these one small decision that we make over and over and over again. That's what this is about. It's not just about carbs.
I love it, Nate. I love it. Where can people find you, Nate?
Most of the time, just find me on Low Carb Hustle on Instagram. Low Carb Hustle. You can check out the podcast if you want to hear me, ranting and talking way too fast. Otherwise, just come over for tacos.
Thank you so much, Nate, for sharing your story here. Check it out, guys. Low Carb Hustle on Instagram, and trust me, you'll never regret it. Follow him back. Thank you so much, Nate. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.